Good evening. Welcome to Grand Blanc Township's board meeting for Wednesday, August 5th. If we could all rise for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Robertson, would you please call the roll?
I would be happy to call the roll, Mr. Supervisor. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Here.
Trustee Hugo.
Here.
Trustee White.
Here.
7 members present, a quorum.
Thank you. And now I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Hugo, supported by Mr. Fike.
Supported by Fike on the agenda. Trustee White.
Yes.
Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Thank you. And now we will entertain any public comments. We just ask that you keep them to 3 minutes or less. And we have the public comment cards if anybody would chooses to. Yes. You want to just hand that to me and Mr. Sly? Okay, Mr. Sly, good evening.
Good evening. I live on Millwell Drive, and they worked on our roads.
Could you do me a favor, Mr. Sly, and just put that closer to you?
Yeah,
Thank you.
They worked on our roads, and we didn't know that they were going to drop it 5 inches to 10 inches. I'm not sure exactly how far. But our driveway, because of that drop, went from like this to that,
Okay,
right on the end. When both of our cars leave the driveway or come in the driveway, the wheel comes off the ground this far. One wheel does.
wow.
When it comes down, it slams.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going to do to my?
Right.
The alignment's going to
Yeah.
go.
I don't mean to interrupt.
And Greg has been talking to the man in charge,
Okay,
and he keeps saying he's going to do something. He's going to do something,
okay,
but so far nothing.
okay.
Greg says he's going to talk to him again. So I have a lot of confidence in Mr. Boggs. I've known him since he was.
Well, he's still a kid, but, you know.
But and then another thing, my front yard. You can ask Greg. Was immaculate. I've got a hole 2 feet deep,
Yeah,
covered by 2 half-inch sheets of plywood that I can't move.
right.
I've started finishing off the rest of it because I'm tired of it waiting. When are we going to get something done about our yards? I know the driveway's a bigger issue, but the yard should be simple. And put some dirt down, fill the holes, throw some grass down. But we're getting nothing. We heard spring. Exactly which spring are we talking about? Next spring? Spring after? Is somebody going to fall in my hole and sue me?
Typically during the public comment, we don't go back and forth, but I'll go ahead and finish what you're saying, and then I'll.
I'm finished. I'm frustrated, but finished.
Yeah. So we requested that the road commission attend our meeting, what was it? 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago?
4 weeks ago.
Was it 4 weeks? 4 weeks. Well, anyways, in the last month, they were here and addressed a lot of concerns. And appears that it's consumers' energy that they're waiting to have their schedule freed up so they can finish doing some utility work, apparently, in the subdivision before their excavating company can complete their work. Actually, the gentleman, Jared Godley, who was in charge of that project with the Road Commission,
We've talked to him.
was here and addressed those concerns and left his phone number as well as the website and what have you. But we'll reach out to Jared. I'm sure Greg will. But and we can put you in touch with him directly as well.
We've been in touch with him. Yeah, and he told us,
So
well, you got a steep driveway.
Yeah. Well, something needs to be done about that drop. It doesn't sound like it's reasonable to expect.
No, because my car squeals the tire when it hits.
Yeah.
And
Give us a chance, and we've got your contact information here. Your phone number's on there. We'll follow up.
you said something about the consumers might have to do some more work.
That's what they were waiting for, is consumers to finish up their work, because when consumers does a job, they can't just dig a hole and then leave it for the road commission to fill it in. And so much of the work that consumers has, from my understanding, is that they have some landscape type things, or what do you call it, basically reclamation work that they need to do that the road commission's not responsible for, but consumers is responsible for completing that work.
So if I finish myself, because I'm tired of looking at it, they might come in and do it again.
Chances are they won't do what's done already, but I'm not sure if they're completely done with everything. That's my hesitancy towards filling any holes or whatever, because I don't know that they're completely done. So let Greg reach out to him tomorrow, and we will
Yeah, I talked to
make sure
He
that
said he would.
the communication there are open. We'll get you the reason, and hopefully, the storms, what have you, been slowing consumers down last year that they had. But I'm not sure, I don't know that we've had any huge storms this year to slow.
They had 2 months of dry weather, and the minute they start working on our road, they got the storm.
Yeah.
Okay. well,
Okay,
thanks
thanks,
for
Mr.
listening.
Sly. We'll follow up. Thank you. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring back to the board, and I will entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Yancho.
Support.
Support by Ms. Hugo.
Motion by Yancho, supported by Hugo on the consent agenda. Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Thank you. And now, under our old business, we wanted to review where we were at with our strategic plan on a number of issues. Mr. Limita?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The review for tonight, I went back through and looked at March and April. We had a meeting in March to talk about the overall review of the 2025-2028 strategic plan, and there was a couple items in there that we talked about millage questions. The first was the Parks and Rec millage question was on the August election ballot. It was included with the board's direction for our one-year task that we were to complete. And it also mentioned that a potential fire department millage for November. So I want to touch on both of those subjects tonight as a recap. The first one being the Parks and Recreation millage. We have the results from yesterday, and I'd just like to thank the voters and the residents of Grand Blanc Township, because it passed with about 65% of the vote. That was right in line with what we heard when we did our community survey from October of 2024, when we received those results. So that was right in line with people asking the board to continue to invest in the facilities at Parks and Recreation, and they supported it with the millage. What we learned last year with our question on 1 mill was that was a little high. I think it was about 54% said they would have supported it in that community survey. Missed by 200 votes. We came back with the half mill and overwhelming support, so that's really exciting. Matt, you want to bring them up to speed on maybe what that means for the Parks and Recreation Department?
Good evening, Mr. Kimmer.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to echo Superintendent Limita's comments, thanking the residents, the voters here in Grand Blanc Township for their support. A big thanks to our Parks and Rec staff as well for keeping our park system and trails in top-notch condition, showing the residents out there that their millage dollars are hard at work. So a big thank you to them as well. I would just like to kind of do a little recap, a little refresher on, you may recall I did give a little PowerPoint presentation over the past year and a half or so. And some of the items we were looking at accomplishing with a half mill, I know we had talked about the multi-purpose field out there that looks like it may need some sort of reconstruction with the multi-purpose field. We'd also like to add additional parking out there at the North Pavilion. The half mil here will also allow us to put in some significant improvements to the Perry House as well as the senior center, updating and expanding our non-motorized trail network, allowing us to have some extra matching dollars for grants that we apply for over the next 10 years, whether that be capital improvements in the park or the non-motorized trail network. We have also identified some areas at the softball fields as well. Some of those fields do need some resurfacing. We'd like to add some dugouts there to some of those fields, possibly looking at lighting those fields, lighting the trails in the park. So just kind of giving you guys a little idea of where we'd like to go with this. What we would like to do next is set up a meeting with the board, a review session to kind of get your feedback and your ideas where you'd like to see this go over the next 5 to 10 years with Parks and Rec, to make sure that, you know, we're sticking to your strategic plan, your plan that you have in place, but also listening to the voters, taking into account the master plan. We're having the Parks and Rec master plan updated this year, so we're going to get a sense of where the community would really like to see it go as well.
What is the schedule for the Parks Master Plan, Matt?
So the Parks Master Plan, we're looking to, it's probably going to come before you for approval this fall, sometime October, November, so that it's ready to go for 2027. Really the main reason we want that master plan in place is it's a requirement by the DNR when we're applying for grants through them that we have an updated master plan in place. Typically the grant season for the DNR is to have those applications in by April 1st of every year.
So as far as the public comment period, when would we be doing that? We would host some sessions, what have you, for the...
We've had a survey out there that we published out on our website through social media to get public comments. Our engineering team has assembled those comments at this time, and then we'll move through the next steps of public hearing and the board for adoption.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Kimmer on Parks and Rec millage?
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think, you know, when we have millages like this, the concern is that the township, while we can put out information that educates people about what the money would be used for and what we could do with that with those funds, we really can't get into the business of promoting or, denying, somebody's vote or promoting not voting for it. So we have to stay neutral on any of these millages. And, as Mr. Lehman has said, and you did too, Mr. Kimmer, that, our Parks and Rec staff do a fabulous job. I think, the money that we have had, I think people can see that we leverage it with significant grants. I mean, the $1.2 million worth of work that's being done at Bicentennial right now, what is it about?
It's a little over 700,000 is
Was grant,
money source.
which is incredible. The pathways that we're doing, another, 1.2 to 1.5 million dollars, and the majority of that is grant money as well. So I think we're showing the public that we're leveraging our money to get some of the money coming back to our community from other sources rather than all taxpayer probably all the grants aren't necessarily taxpayer money, but we're leveraging tax dollars, put it that way. So we want to continue in that vein, I believe.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and great job to our, please pass along to our park staff that we appreciate showing the public what we can do with their funds and that they continue to entrust us with that.
Will do. Thank you.
So the next item was to discuss possible fire millage, and Attorney Chubb put together that resolution, what it would look like if you were to move that forward. Per the strategic plan and the direction for the one-year task going back to March, if we were to put it on for the November ballot, it does expire in 2027, so you have time, but it'll be on an off year. But our strategic plan called for putting it on in November. You would have to approve that resolution this evening because it would have to be at the county no later than August 11th if you were to want to request that. A couple of points that I think you should consider as part of your discussion is just the fact that We know that the fire service is changing, but we also know because it's tougher to get the part-time guys to take all the shifts. We have a lot of vacant shifts. The board did authorize an additional full-time firefighter to help address that. You also authorized the Pursuit of the Safer grant that'll bring us 3 more full-time firefighters on that will begin to help us make more of that transition because it's just, you're just not attracting, and in fact, it's not unique to Grand Blanc Township, it's everywhere. And I had a long conversation yesterday at the National Night Out with Chief Schreiber from the city of Grand Blanc, and kind of the same thing, how tough it is for us to find and recruit firefighters. Obviously, a little easier when they're full-time. So that's one consideration. The other consideration, I think, is you have a collaborative fire study going on right now, and I know that's been brought up in previous conversations with the board. We don't know where that's going to go. Do we have some collaborative efforts with other municipalities surrounding us in southeast Genesee County, and what does that look like and how that could impact us? So I think that's also a consideration. And then in addition to that, when I think of capital, and you know the fire truck that you approved that we paid for last year that we should see, I think, in 2028, that was a $2.1 million purchase. We saved $300,000 by paying cash, but that did hurt us a little bit in what I had set aside for capital funds moving forward. So we held off on some capital purchases in 2026. But as I look at the CIP and talk about what's coming up for fire services over the next couple of years, we have the 2009 pumper truck that's engine 31 that's going to be up for replacement. We have that as kind of spread out over 2027, 2028 at a cost of about $700,000, so a $1.4 million expenditure in capital. The Chief Gent is currently working on, the review of all the capital needs and what that looks like over the next 5 years. But we do have some vehicles that or apparatus that will be up for replacement, including the 2010 pumper that's engine number 11, and we had put that in the CIP at $1,250,000 for a 2028 purchase, and we've been carrying that. So as we sit here and talk about, an additional, $3 million of apparatus that are coming up on some aging apparatus that are going to need replacement. Your millage is set to expire in 2027. So I think it's a good time to have that conversation, just understanding that the board has always looked at fire service. Your strategic plan has been very specific and strategic, calling about reviewing all service models. There was some concern about 911 and the EMS response. You addressed that by finding a preferred provider agreement with Patriot Ambulance, and I saw the numbers from Chief Schreiber today, and those numbers have come, especially on the Tier 1 responses, very impressive on the improvement that has been made in the greater Grand Blanc area from those. But we know it's changing. We're looking at those service models. We're going through the collaborative study. We know we've got some big apparatus expenditures coming up, and we know that the millage is expiring soon. We also know we're undertaking a study. So those are just some of the facts that I wanted to throw out for your discussion. Again, this is only before you tonight because it was in our strategic plan as a one-year action item to consider it on November. If that's premature, if the board wants to have that discussion, or if you want to move in another direction, this would be a great time to kind of provide that update for the strategic plan to give staff a better idea of where you'd like us to go.
Dennis, remind me, how many years was the current millage for when we passed it?
There was a 10-year millage. We approved it in 2018 through 2027.
Okay. So it is expiring next year. Right now, there's no ballot issues that would come before us that we're aware of. So it would be a special, if we waited till next year, it's going to be a special election, which we would have to foot the bill for.
That's correct. We would, if there's nothing else on there, there's no school thing, there's nothing that we're aware that's coming up, that would be a special election that the township pays for. I can't give you the cost of that, but I would, we can ask probably Lynn to give us a better idea, but I think you're probably in the $30,000 to $40,000 cost range to run a special election. Does that sound right, Clerk Robertson?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I know a few years ago it was 30,000, and nothing has decreased in cost over the past several years, so I got to believe it's even north of 30 grand. But you know, we are doing the study with several other municipalities. However, I don't see that study saving us millions of dollars. I see it as probably enhancing service, and I see it as possibly saving, you know, some money overall, but I don't see it saving us the kind of money that we're going to be able to buy major capital equipment with the savings. You know, one of the pieces of equipment I think Chief Gent has in his plan is a tanker truck, I think, in the capital plan. We don't have one currently, I guess, from what I understand. And I don't know if that's in addition to the 2 trucks that we already have in our capital plan or not. But the bottom line is that that tanker truck, I think, would probably help our ISO rating too, because right now we have areas without fire hydrants. And when you don't have a fire hydrant, the only way you get water there is a tanker truck, and we don't have one currently. I guess maybe we have to borrow one from somebody occasionally, I don't know. But bottom line is, okay. So the bottom line is we do need, you know, capital equipment. You know, I was thinking, let's take a look at this study and see where things are at, but I'm also not a big fan of spending 40 grand on a special election if we don't need it. The other thing is we do with our mosquito millage, I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head what that millage vote was voted in, but we don't collect the full amount. I don't think we have ever collected the full amount, but we have it there in case the cost does ramp up, that we can recoup our costs. So there are some things I think we need to look at. I think, you know, one of the things I want to see us address in that study is that, you know, I remember years ago the county was looking at even doing fire service for the entire county, and I'm not sure I want the county taking that over. But the one thing that we do have to address is us providing mutual aid 8 times greater than we receive it, and we need to help some of our neighboring communities to figure out how they maybe are able to improve their fire services. You know, I think we saw a huge fire over in Mundy Township in the past couple of weeks. That thing, man, I'm surprised. I mean, the way it was going, it looked like the whole place was going to go up in flames. But I'm not sure how many firefighters Mundy showed up with, but I know that a number of fire departments gave mutual aid. Bottom line is I'm hoping that the study figures out a way that some of the areas around us that might be in more need of better fire service, that we're able to help them to get that. So our fire department is concentrated more on Grand Blanc Township and providing mutual aid to everybody else. But not out of selfishness, just I want them to be safe, and I want our people to be able to focus their energies here. Mr. Yancho?
Yes, I've seen quite a few people come here and express some concerns over fire department employment and equipment, mostly employment. And we've seen quite a bit of comments on social media as well. But those people only speak for themselves. And the way I see a millage question on a ballot is to give all the residents of Grand Blanc the opportunity to express their feelings, whether or not an improvement in our fire service is important to them.
They're willing to pay for it.
So they're willing to pay for it, it's important to them. If they're not willing to pay for it, it's not important to them. And the only way to get the response from most of the residents is to put it on a ballot.
You know, one of the things that we've had lots of discussion over the past years, and I won't say it just in the past few months, it's been over the years, is that the model for fire departments depending on what your community size is, it's not one size fits all. You know, in past years, we were, you know, with the city, and it was basically on-call only. We had probably 0 people sitting in the station waiting for any kind of fire. There's most municipalities around us are at that stage right now, but there's some municipalities that are growing at a pretty rapid clip right now that are still operating on that model. Trying to get people to work part-time or people to so-called volunteer. I mean, how many of us could really on call? How many of us could really take time away from our job to actually run out for a fire? Probably not a whole lot of us. And that's, I think, where most of our residents stand at this point. Mr. Fike?
So this proposal, right now, the 1 mil will expire next year.
Yes.
If we don't do anything, we have nothing. A little bit like the
Then it would-
parks, right?
We would have 0 if next year we didn't pass a millage, so.
But this proposal would take us from 1 mil to 2 mil, right?
That's what would be voted, but we could decide how much we want to collect.
Okay.
So with the parks millage, I recall, Mr. Kimmer, that when we estimated was it the median household in Grand Blanc Township? Was about was like shy of $100 a year. So it would be an increase of approximately $100 a year.
And do we have justification for this increase?
Well, the study will be back sometime in September.
After our vote?
Well, after we have to have it, I mean, the bottom line is if we want it in November, we would have to decide probably tonight. However, let's say that we do pass the 2 mills.
Right.
We don't have to collect the full 2 mills. We could continue at 1 mill if we chose to. We go to 1.5 if we wanted to. So based on the plan and what we come up with, you know, the one benefit, I think, to having a plan that we've had is that we've been able to take some steps towards without jumping in, without really investigating things. I think the Patriot program with the city of Grand Blanc is working out. I mean, the stats, I'll read them to you in a minute here, but we've reduced that probably by half or 2/3 the response time. We've, you know, Chief has applied for some grants that hopefully will leverage some things so that we can afford to add more full-time firefighters. And I'm all about leveraging our money if we can. I don't want to, you know, if we can use money from some other source than our own, that's what I want to do. And so if I were to vote in favor of a 2 mil increase, I would say that, like Mr. Yancho, that I want the voters to decide that that's what they're willing to pay, but I'd also want to say that our board also retains the right to say that, look, we need a plan in place first before we actually put that tax on our residents. I want to see where we're going to go with that money. You know, and I think even Chief would agree. I've heard him say in the past that he doesn't know what that exact number is that we need right now. And I think the study will help us a little bit, but I think also some further investigation would help us come up with that. Yes, Mr. White? And
I
then
don't know how much we need right now. How in good conscience can we put this on the ballot? I thought we had a majority 2 months ago of everyone that basically said the same thing up here, and I'm a little confused why this came back again. I don't support putting it on in November before this study comes out. We really don't even know what we are going to spend the money on. So how can we ask for more money if we don't know what we're actually going to spend it on?
that is definitely one side of the coin, you know, that we would have to have a special election next year, which, you know, if we don't mind paying the 30-year, it's like I'm saying, it's probably more like 40 grand, I'm thinking.
Well, we don't know that there's not going to be, we said this earlier in the year too, and it turns out the schools, I believe, had something in May.
Right.
So we don't know that we're going to have to eat the cost.
Yeah, I don't know that the school has anything planned for this next year, but
They better not.
what's that, they better not? Yeah.
I haven't heard of anything in the office.
Ms. Ryder?
So I'm a little confused as well. If we put 2 mills on the ballot, then it would be less likely to pass. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to ask for 2 mills and then say we don't have to use it all. People are less likely to vote in a 2 mill.
What are you suggesting? I'm not sure I follow.
No, I think if we are going to put it on the ballot, I think putting more than we know what to do with.
Well, I think we heard that the capital expense that we have coming up, there's places to use the money. I mean, obviously, I don't know, the fire trucks have doubled in cost, and I believe, is it about 3 of them, Mr. Lehman, that we need at this point?
Will over the next few years, and that's putting the order in and knowing that it's still going to be a 3 to 4 year build out before you get them.
So, like as this current fire truck that we're waiting delivery, we paid it up front and saved $300,000. 300,000. Right now, if we wanted to go out and buy a couple of these, or put a couple of these trucks on order that take 4 or 5 years, it might be the same type of thing where if we can pay them up front, we'll save $500,000, what have you. The problem is we probably don't have that money designated for fire to be able to do that for a couple of fire trucks. So that it isn't as if we don't have the place to use it. It's that we can decide each year how much needs to be collected based on what, if we want to go that route. I'm just listening to the board and seeing. I don't have any preconceived notion on where we want to be, but I'm looking at both sides of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying if we want it to pass, it might be better to consider a lower amount just because it's either all or nothing. But I don't know. I kind of think we should have the study as well, but then I feel like it's going to get us in trouble with timing. Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe a lower amount should be discussed.
Okay, Mr. Robertson?
A millage, is it a requirement to levy or an authorization to levy? And if we could levy less than what we're asking for, suppose say it's approved, would that require a separate action of the board to decide what we actually would choose to levy?
So this is just an authorization to levy, and we know directly in the ballot question that each year when the appropriations are made, as we adopt the budget, we'll set the amounts to levy under each of the approved millages and under our 5 mil ability to levy administratively as a charter township.
But if we don't levy, or we don't collect the full amount levied, would we be challenged for that action?
No, I mean, it's determining the number that we levy and the mills that we levy under this ability to levy up to 2 is part of your appropriation resolution that you adopt annually with your budget.
Right. Nothing more.
Mr. Yancho?
The way I see it is if we were able to get a 2 mil millage passed, we might be able to get ahead of the 8 ball on the expense of new trucks. And then after we've got our new trucks or got the orders placed, because we know we've got the ability to fund those trucks, then we can reduce the levy in the following years. So we don't always have to collect that much money, but as we've heard, it takes many years to design and build these trucks. And I also have learned a lesson on the parks millage, where if you propose something and it doesn't pass, you want to have enough time to put together a millage on a ballot that we think that the residents would approve of.
Well, one of the complaints we received on the previous parks millage is we put it on when nobody was voting for anything else. Or at least that was a complaint that I heard, that basically, that was the only thing people were coming out for, and they were upset that we would, put something on the ballot when nobody was voting anyways, is what they told me. So that's part of my thought, is that, not only is it the expense of having a special election, it's that most people think you're trying to sneak something through if that's the only thing that's on the ballot. Ms. Ryder?
So I fully support the fire department getting everything they need. I'm just concerned about, because the average voter isn't going to understand.
That you don't have to collect the full amount.
Yeah. So I just think that it's in danger of failing, because I'm thinking of Parks millage as well. So do we want to put it on the ballot for 2 mil and then have it fail? Or do we want to put it on for 1 and
Well, we already have one. We have one currently. So, I mean, that would be a renewal, basically, if we did one.
that might be more attractive to the public?
But what we're hearing is one isn't going to cover all of the needs that we're seeing, that, even with this joint study, one mill is not going to cover all of the expenses that we have coming, but,
What about?
so it's, like I said, it's a two-sided coin that, there's benefits and drawbacks to each side of it.
We know we need the renewal. We need the same 1 mil we have. A mill now and a mill later?
Again, you're going to have a special election. I looked at the millages for this ballot that we just
That was
had.
more a question than a statement. if you can
Right.
tell by the inflection.
Yep. So this past vote that we just had yesterday, it looked to me like, with regard to the millages, they all passed with flying colors. I was kind of amazed, to be honest with you. So, Mr. Lemina?
Just for a point of clarification for the board, you have this millage doesn't expire till 2027, so you don't have to, I'm not advocating for you to put something on in November. You don't have to. If you're going to go with 1 mil, you already have the 1 mil, or 0.96 with the rollback, I think is where it's at now. You won't have to do that until later, if that's the question. You can always wait. There's no reason to put it on a November ballot as a renewal right now. You have 1 mil. All you'd be doing is picking up the rollback amount. The 0.04 mils won't make any difference, quite frankly. You are spending more than 1 mil for fire services now. We are, obviously using general fund monies to support fire services. Much like we do with police, we have 1.5 mils for the police department, but we spend $11 million on police. We don't bring anywhere near $11 million. It's general fund monies, and we're doing the same thing now with fire. All we're talking about is, if fire is going to be more expensive, is there, if you have to wait, then wait. Don't feel like you have to be pressured to put something on in November. If you're going to stay with the same millage for now, do so. If you are going to do something, and I did get a text from Lynn, who's watching the meeting, she said it's closer to $60,000 for the off-year election. So whether that enters into your consideration or not, if you had to do it in a 2027 calendar year to put it before the vote.
What, 1 mil brings in approximately 1.4
1.4 million.
million?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be half of the 3.7.
Okay.
Scott?
Yes, Ms. Ryder?
When in 2027 does it expire?
It'll expire at the end of 2027, so
end,
then the
okay.
question can be, do you want it in 2027? Do you want it in 2028? 2028 will be, again, another presidential township election year, full turnout, but at that point, your millage is done, and if it doesn't pass, you
You're
have
sunk.
money coming in the following year.
Okay.
That's the risk of
Waiting.
letting it all the way expire.
Yeah, I thought it would expire at the beginning of the year, so that's better.
Well, as Mr. Yancho had mentioned too, is that we learned with our parks millage that, and one of the things that I know that in the past we've always looked at is not waiting till the last minute with any millage, just because we don't want to take the chance of running aground and not having the funding for whichever department it is that has the millage. So that's a consideration as well.
And if I could just clear up one point, I apologize, I
Sure.
did not go to accounting school.
Yes.
For a reason, so 1 mil would raise just under $1.9 million.
1.9, okay. I was thinking that might be it. Well, anybody have any thoughts?
I would make a motion that we put a 2 mil millage on the November ballot.
Could I just ask if that could be clarified to be a motion to adopt the resolution to approve fire protection millage requests to electors as presented?
Yes.
Is there support? Support by Mr. Fike. Further discussion? Mr. White?
I think this is the most financially irresponsible thing in 5.5 years I've seen, for us to ask for a mill just based on, well, if we find some money, then we'll find a reason to spend it. That is not based in any sound budgeting practice whatsoever. And we have 3 elections next year we can put this on. We put this on in February, and we can't wait a month for a study. We also talked about how response time has improved without raising a millage, and how grants have been used without raising a millage. And yet we need to ask for another mill without actually having anything concrete we can really point to. I don't think this is the least responsible thing since November 2020, and I got on the board if we vote for this.
Ms. Ryder, you had something? I saw your hand go up.
No, yeah, he said 1 mil and it's 2, right? That's what
In addition.
that was the motion.
Yeah, an additional mill.
Oh, an additional mil, okay.
Yeah, you asked for further discussion.
Yeah, if you can speak into the microphone.
We know we need, the renewal's not in question. We have to have the same mill that we have now at minimum, okay? Again, I pose the question, maybe this isn't we could put the renewal of the single mill on the ballot for November, and we can revisit the issue of an additional mill based upon how after the study is completed, as to what that might indicate. That's an option as well.
Do the renewal early, you're saying?
Yes, why, I mean, there's nothing that stops us from placing the renewal on the ballot this November, am I correct?
No, but you're already going to collect it for the next couple of years. I mean, if you're not making any changes, I don't think there's literally no reason to put the ballot question out there, unless you just want to.
It is set to expire, so we would be renewing it for another 10 years, yes?
Right, but you still have 2 years to make that decision, is what I'm saying. And again, I'm not advocating one way or another. I'm not even advocating for 2 mills. I'm saying your strategic plan, we've talked about the millage coming out, and that's why it's before you. I had the attorney put 2 mills on there because I needed to put some number on there so we could show it. If you want to adjust the millage, that's fine. If you don't want to do one, my recommendation would be to hold off. I wouldn't put anything on the November ballot. I would wait till you make that determination somewhere down the road to be, you'll run it in 2027. You could put it on in 2028. Like I said, the only risk that you have if you wait for it to be fully expired is if it's turned down, you don't have money coming in the following year, and you're going to be about $2 million short in your general fund.
Clerk Robertson?
I posed the question as to whether or not we could do the renewal now. I understand the reasoning for why you're saying, why do that if we've got another year to wait? And I was just trying to find some amelioration between, in the conversation that we're having. Obviously, we need to do the renewal, and I support the renewal. And I'm glad we did the study, and we're asking for the study. I'm eager to see the results of that study, and so it could be premature, I believe, to go for an increase at this time. I'm prepared to support a renewal, I'm prepared to support the consideration of an additional millage based upon what the study says. But I am I'm
Reluctant.
I'm reluctant. I'm trying to find the right word. I am moved by Trustee White's argumentation. Okay, and so I want to find compromise. But I think the renewal is certainly in order. The question is only when. And then I think we need to do the study and then be prepared. And I'm not one that has embraced the idea of tax increases in my career, and really ever. But I'm willing to entertain an increase based upon what the collective recommendation of the study is. So I think they could be dealt with as separate items and still meet the timetable that Superintendent Limita indicates we have to meet, which is we don't want to leave it to the last minute. Yes, there's an additional cost as far as an election is concerned if we don't do it in November, but that may be the price that we pay for maintaining the latitude and the flexibility to consider all the variables in the equation.
Any thoughts from this end of the table? Ms. Hugo?
My head is spinning. Obviously, I support the fire department. If we don't support the fire department, how do we support our residents who could need fire services? I'm in the middle because I think it would be great if it were approved. We don't know if the residents want that. I'm in agreement with the renewal of the 1 mil. I just don't feel confident. I kind of agree with Paul and I kind of agree with Dave. I'm like, it's all, I don't know that we should put a 2 mil on and have a special election for it.
You're saying you don't know if we should, or
I don't know if we should. I don't.
I mean next year?
Right.
Mr. Yancho?
From what I've learned in our work and discussions with the fire department and as a board, and looking at the other fire services that might collaborate with, I don't think that they're going to bring that much to the table, especially as it concerns capital items. And I think that it'd be great for everyone involved to have a regional fire authority. But I'm sure that we're going to need more money as time goes on to maintain our fire department the way the public would like to see it maintained. And once again, I think the best way to have them express their opinion is through a vote. And I like the November vote because that's when most people come out to vote.
That's true.
Well, one thing that I don't know if I should be bringing this out, but the study has already begun, right? The individuals that are meeting with their fire chiefs from the various fire departments, those interviews and what have you are starting already. And one of the things that I think we're going to be kept up to date. I haven't received any update yet, but I have heard informally that when you compare Genesee County to, say, Oakland County in terms of preparedness, and I mentioned that, a few years ago, we had a totally on-call department. I'm hearing that just like we used to operate like that, if we were doing that today, we would be behind the 8 ball. And when you compare us to Oakland County, and when fire officials come up here and look at what we're doing, they can't believe that we're that far behind. Capital equipment, you know, whether people are full-time, part-time, what have you, you know, I know everybody has thoughts on that, but the capital equipment, there's no question whether we need that or not. I mean, you look at the age of our equipment, and I brought the sheet out, you know, months ago that showed the age of all of our fleet, and it's pretty crazy how old some of these things are. Our ISO rating, which everybody's insurance rates are based upon, are partly based on your equipment and the age of it. Our equipment right now is aging out. And when we're hearing that it's taking 4 years to get a piece of apparatus, there's only 2 companies, I think, isn't there, Chief, in the country that are making fire trucks at this point?
There's 6 manufacturers.
Is there?
There's 3 major manufacturers.
Okay. So you figure that all of the fire departments in the U.S. and probably even Canada depend on these, and that's why it's taking years from the time you order it. I don't know that I want to be having a fire department respond to a call, whether they're full-time or part-time people, with a truck that breaks down on the way there. As far as not knowing what we're going to spend the money on, I know capital equipment is one of the things we have to spend money on. There's no question on that. What the study, I think, is going to look at is there ways to share some resources, ways to share personnel, what have you. But again, I don't see it saving millions of dollars. I see it saving, you know, maybe hopefully improving service delivery through different models. And I see it maybe saving, hopefully, some significant money, but maybe covering some areas that are in between our municipalities that don't have great coverage now, that are on the fringes. But I really don't see it making up the difference of this kind of money. And again, you know, we heard the screams when maybe our board didn't, but people were complaining that when we had the parks millage, and there was maybe only one other thing on the ballot, I think, when we had the parks millage up this last time. Was there only one other issue on the ballot when we did the parks millage?
What, a year ago?
The one that failed. There was only a couple items on the, and we got criticized for having a May election with that on there. So we also have that, you know, to contend with. So it's a difficult situation. I admit that I don't want to collect money that we don't need, but it isn't as though we don't see where the need is with the fire department. I mean, just apparatus alone. Mr. Lemata?
For what it's worth, just for the budget year 2026, you brought in $1.7 million in millage was what was projected, but the expenditures were 2.5. So we took $800,000 out of the general fund to subsidize fire operations above and beyond what we brought in the millage. And then that doesn't include, that's irrespective of any capital purchases. So how much should we be putting aside in capital each year? You know, probably $250,000 to $300,000 a year for capital on an ongoing basis to make sure we have the reserve allocated for fire with the apparatus and other things. So just off the top of my head, you know, that's about 1.1 million of general fund expenditures that you're taking out of your general fund each year to subsidize into the fire millage operations. So we do know that we spend more, or we have a need for more than what the millage brings in. What that number is, I can't say right now until I know more about, are there changes to the fire service we still intend to make? Will that study make a difference? I mean, you're right. I mean, again, 2 mills I just put on there because I had to put something in. And again, it's only before you because it was in the strategic plan. We talked about it in March and April that we would bring it to the board before the August deadline for going to the county. And that's why it's before you tonight, not for any other reason other than it was in the strategic plan and it was in our one-year task, and we were tasked as staff to put it before you, if it was going to be a November ballot issue. If it's not going to be, then you don't need to make a decision tonight, quite frankly. But just, you guys make fact-based decisions. You've been very strategic about all of this. And so is the need there? I mean, if we're trying to really recoup fire operations and free up other general fund monies, yeah, I can show you that the need is there to the tune of, $1 million or $1.1 million. But what would it, what will it bring in if you had 2 mills and it's going to bring in $3.7 million? Is that more than you need? You can catch up on capital, but 2 mills wasn't the right number. Maybe the timing isn't right now. Clearly, Trustee White makes a very valid point about what the study and that. It's a lot of facts, but you guys have time. If, like I said, it doesn't expire till the end of 2027. You could put it on a 2028 ballot. You could wait 2 more years to do it, quite frankly, and maybe you'll have more information then. But just know that you are subsidizing it at least by $1.1 million annually out of the general fund while you move forward.
Yes, Clerk Robertson? If you can speak
In terms of what's could come out of the study, I mean, we've already mentioned that we provide through mutual aid more to our surrounding communities than they provide us, which is understandable given our size and what we have. In some respect, that's what mutual aid is about: is to make sure that that we aid people in the way that we expect them to. They would aid us, as they have aided us when the circumstances warranted. But one of the things may come out that since they are aware, the other communities are aware of what we have done in terms of mutual aid, then maybe they will be one way they can assist in terms of the equity is to assist in the purchase of new equipment that could be shared, whether it be a tanker truck or something else, and that would speak to the value of waiting till the study is completed to see if that's part of the recommendation, and how much we can use that study to, frankly, make the argument to and leverage the other communities that are part of the study, that agree to be part of the study, to share costs, whatever that may be, whether it's equipment, likely equipment and capital. That's something that's tangible that we can assign a dollar value to, as opposed to other things like labor and that, which varies from community to community.
Okay. Ms. Hugo?
How far are we into the study?
We'll have the results September, October, right?
You'll have the results. We should have a preliminary draft by the end of this month, and then the meeting was scheduled for September 12th for the facilitators to bring everybody together and go through the findings.
Thank you.
Set aside the motion.
Mr. Yancho?
One of the things that, if we put the millage increase off, which I think the increase is inevitable, we're going to need that. We're going to be putting off the purchase of these new equipments that we already know we're going to need. I don't think that these other municipalities have any extra money in their fire funds to bring to the table that'll enhance ours. And I'm interested in the residents in the town of Grand Blanc, the township. I know there's a number of residents in the community that do not have fire hydrants, my home being one of them. I'm a mile and a half away from a fire hydrant, and I know my house is not unique. So any truck, and we don't have a tanker, any truck to replenish its water has to go a mile and a half minimum to get water to fight a fire at a house where there are no fire hydrants. And also that means that my ISO rating is worse than the other houses in the community that do have fire hydrants. So I think we desperately need a tanker truck.
Ms. Hugo?
I agree with you on the tanker truck. But I'm wondering if it would be possible for us to do a survey like we did with parks and see what the residents have to say before we make a decision. It's just me.
It's going to take some time, though. That
Right.
survey took like 6 months.
I'll contend that the survey is the vote.
Yeah.
That reaches more people than we'll ever get a response from a survey.
Chief, I don't know if you have your capital plan here. Okay. I'm just wondering, in terms of equipment, what that schedule looks like in terms of when we need to start ordering some of these things in order to.
Currently exploring the idea of ordering stock engines that are, They don't have a lot of customization to them, so the turnaround time is much sooner. So you're looking at 16 to 18 months at getting an engine, and as opposed to 3 or 4 years.
But then what do? You, after you get it, you're retrofitted or what?
You just add the basic equipment that you would normally add when you get the apparatus into your station, you know, the normal equipment that you would normally add, extrication equipment, specific equipment that you would use for your department.
So you're looking at 1.5 years to 2 years, maybe. Well,
Well, we have
there's a motion.
floor, correct?
Yes. Is there any other discussion, Mr. White?
We picked 2 mills because it was printed on here without any justification. I don't know if it should be 1.5 mills. It might be 2 mills. That might be great, but we're just spitballing here. And we should not be increasing taxes by millions of dollars just based on hearsay and whims, which is essentially what I'm hearing. Some people say this. I don't know who these people are. I don't know if they're actually right. And we're just gonna go off that, like shooting from the hip for millions of dollars? What? Come on. We've all been on board for, most of us, for a long time, and none of us have really acted in this way. But if this is the way we're gonna act going forward, it's gonna be a rocky 2 more years.
I would, Mr. Chair, I think we, I think,
Robertson.
I think I respect the motion and support, but I think we should set it aside and wait for that till after the study. Take it off the table for now. And let's wait for the study. Let's see what the study says, and then make a decision as to a renewal, as to increase in the new year. In the new year. And as I said, and let me be clear on this point, is that I'm obviously I support the renewal. I'm open and receptive to the idea that as a result of the study, there may be a necessity for an increase. And I'm prepared to say that I'm willing to support that increase if the study calls for it. So, because I want to be respectful of the discussion that's taken place this evening, the necessities of the budget that are forthcoming. We ordered the study because we felt it would be a valuable thing to learn that, or to learn what comes out of it. And I think that's what we should do. I think we should I'm asking, I guess, either for you to either table the issue or to ask the member to withdraw his motion and support for consideration at a later time.
Okay, that would depend on the maker of the motion to do that, I believe. But Ms. Hugo?
I was just thinking, we're spending money on this survey. I agree with Dave on tabling it to see what the outcome of it is. And if it is necessary, we can move forward.
It sounds like we have a consensus to hold. Ms. Ryder?
If it doesn't expire until the end of 2027, is there a reason we couldn't put it on the August ballot? 'Cause that wouldn't be a special election.
Right.
If we can put it on any of the ballots, I believe.
It's not that it's a special election, it's that it's an off-year election, I think.
So we have to incur that cost.
And whether or not there's anything else on the ballot is, the thought.
They're usually,
What's that?
they usually pop up.
Yeah.
I would withdraw my
Support?
support for this, but I kind of resent that we're spitballing here, Paul, quite frankly. 'Cause I don't think we're spitballing. We know we need 1 mill, correct? We know that.
I'm fine with that.
And we know we need equipment. And I don't think 2 mills is out of the realm of what we're talking about here.
I just need something on paper to justify it. We're just hearing, there's a draft resolution with 2 mills. I don't know what 1.5 mills would be. I don't know over the course of 10 years how that would fit in with the capital improvement project. I don't know how much that would reduce the amount the fire department takes from the general fund and would be essentially used in the new millage. I don't know any of these things. So how can, in the absence of all this, hard, concrete data, how can we really make an informed decision right now?
Well, let's wait.
Yeah. And Ms. Hugo had her hand up as well.
And I don't remember what I was going to ask.
Well, in terms of, millages, when we put a millage out there, I don't know that when we do, and I see both sides here, so believe me, I think all of us do. But when we put a millage out there, we don't have every single dime of that millage accounted for beforehand. It's that, when we go out for bid, for example, the park, I mean, obviously, when we apply for grants, we have to know exactly the dollar amount. But that parks millage, we knew we were going to set aside a certain amount for things, but things come up too, that, hey, we're setting matching dollars aside so we can use it for the grant. But, the bridge went out at Bicentennial a couple of years ago as a $200,000 replacement. So when we do these millages, the mosquito millage, we don't know from year to year what that actual cost is because the weather determines how much we're going to spend. So we're never going to make it an exact science. Mr. Limita and the finance team and the department heads do a great job of making sure that we predict revenue and we predict expenses, and we come pretty close each year, very close. In fact, our auditors are typically surprised by that. But I think we've had great discussion. I think what's evident here this evening is that all of us support our fire department in terms of, and this is prior to, this is going back 2 years when we put together a strategic plan, or even previous administration, that we said we wanted to look at this. It's not anything that just popped up. But I think everybody here has a concern for making sure that we're prepared. But I think also everybody here wants to make sure that we're spending money responsibly before we ask for it. Mr. Yancho?
Without support, I will withdraw my motion.
Okay. Well, I think, I like to try and have consensus, and it isn't because we twist anybody's arms. It's because we try to find a ground that all of us are comfortable with. And I appreciate that about this board, that we, if somebody has a concern, we try to address that concern instead of, just steamrolling it. We are going to have the study results here in the next month or so. I'm excited to see it. I think we're going to be coming back and saying we need to do something on this, but I can also appreciate Mr. White saying, and others saying that we need to get closer to that, knowing what that actual number is before we ask for anything. It is, I do have to say that it is probably difficult to not collect the full amount, because it's like, why aren't we collecting that full amount for anything? But Mr. White?
Just building off this, can we get over the next month or two sort of what the expected capital improvements are going to be for the next 5 to 10 years?
Sure.
How much we would collect at 1 mil, 1.5, and 2? I mean, I just think we need some sort of grounded numbers to really make an objective decision here.
You guys will approve, you'll have it on September 1st, you'll approve the capital plan like you do every year. That comes in with the budget request by September 1st, so you'll know where Chief has made his projections on capital needs over the next 5 years. And again, I mean, it's about, $1.8 billion per mil, roughly, a little bit, over that, depending on what we get and what happens with revenue sharing. But
Mr. Lehman, if we could, with that capital budget, if we could have the schedule of the vehicles for fire department as part of that, in terms of seeing which vehicles, what age, which ones we need to replace.
those are listed, it'll have the date and then the replacement out.
Yep, where we see them in the future, so that we can know that 3 years from now, we need to purchase these, 2 years from now, 1 year from now.
What you'll see in your packet will be just exactly
Okay.
like this.
All right.
Where it's got what's going to be replaced and what year that it's expected to be replaced.
But also having the years that they are currently, that the age of those vehicles, because what is it, 20 years before ISO says they're going to start being a detriment. Yeah. So,
All right.
okay, thanks, everyone.
All right. New business, Mr. Supervisor, item 7A.
Thank you. The board will hear the second reading of General Ordinance 2026-2, an ordinance to amend Article 2, Fire Code Section 16-1 19 to 16-21, update the adoption of the International Fire Code, and consider a motion to adopt the ordinance. Is there a motion? Motion by Ms. Hugo, support by Mr. White.
Motion by Hugo, supported by White on
So-
item 7A.
So this is the International Fire Code. There's another fire code as well, right, that some departments follow, Mr. Lemata?
Good
Or
question.
Chief? Okay. So we go by this, and I think the state's looking at which one they're going to,
Our ordinance has been operating under the 2009 edition, and what this amendment is doing is
Bring it
moving it
up
up
to date.
to adopt the 2024 edition.
okay. Any other discussion? Go ahead, Clerk Robertson.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Item B, the board will consider a motion for the purchase of 10 grappler pursuit intervention systems with multi-instructor package for $66,832.12, and authorize the superintendent to sign all purchase orders. I don't know if everybody's seen videos of these, but great job last night with the National Night Out, too.
Well, thank you. And I'll touch base on that.
Sure.
Talk about this here again. But earlier this year, we received over $103,000 from the state of Michigan for public safety revenue funds, revenue sharing funds. At least 75% of those funds has to be used towards law enforcement, which is police equipment or programs that reduce criminal behavior out there in the community. So what's before you today is for 10 grappler systems. And the reason why this is before you, because last year we had 32 traffic pursuits. And as we all know, that traffic pursuits can be deadly, both to the officer, the suspect, and most importantly, innocent motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists who are out there on the roadway. So what this product does is it gives our officers one additional tool to end that pursuit quickly. So the sooner that we end a pursuit, the better. So for the public, for the officer, and for that suspect. This product wraps itself around one of the rear tires, locks it up, it tethers to the front bumper of the police vehicle. We simply apply the brakes. That vehicle then comes to a stop. We can actually unleash the tether, which is unlocking, or it's locking up that rear tire, the rear axle, and the rear differential on the suspect vehicle. So to hopefully come to an end sooner than later.
How is it deployed?
It's simply a big net that drops down from the police bumper. We drive up close to that suspect vehicle.
Okay.
And it deploys itself right around one of those rear tires. Slides right under the rear tire.
Okay.
Lots of videos online.
It's got a heavy cargo net. Yeah.
All right, well, very good. I didn't know that such a thing existed, but I'm happy to support it.
Extra tool for our officers.
Yeah. Ms. Hugo?
I'm fascinated by this device. I watch a lot of crime reels, and I think that they're awesome. So I would make a motion to support this.
Okay. I'll support it.
Second, if it's second, is
I'll
in
support it.
order. Oh, okay.
The
Excuse me.
thing that some people may not realize, like the stop sticks that, the police throw out to give flat tire to the people that are running from the police. The problem with those is oftentimes the police officer ends up getting hit by the vehicle because they try to avoid going over the stop sticks and run into the police officer. I think this is much safer for everybody, and like you said, even including the public. Something that I think we've talked about, I know, a couple of times in the past, and it's just a matter of trying to find the funding. But if we have state funds that we can use for this, I think all the better.
Yeah, and those stop sticks, yeah, it's important for the officers to have cover for their safety. And plus, you have to get out in front of that suspect vehicle, which sometimes is pretty difficult. And then we're relying on other agencies, and hopefully that they're able to deploy them. And frequently, we find other agencies typically don't get involved in other agencies' pursuits.
Mr. Lemata?
I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't point out that I was against this revenue sharing, and we did have a meeting with our legislature to discuss it because they cut $370,000 from our revenue sharing and put it into this new revenue sharing, which helps fight violent crime. The problem with that is it really was income redistribution, and my argument back then was, what you're doing is you're incentivizing bad behavior. The more violent crime you get, the more of this dollars you get. We got cut $370,000 of revenue sharing. We got back 103. The city of Flint gets over $1 million of this special revenue sharing. And so this frustrates me. And again, we have to use it for something, and this is a good thing. I'm not trying to say don't get this, but it really frustrates me that that all this was a money grab from the people who are getting it right. We keep violent crime down here in Grand Blanc Township. We have an amazing police department, and we get penalized financially for revenue sharing dollars. And you throw us back $103,000, thank you, but I would have much rather have kept the $370,000 of revenue sharing in my general fund. I'll get off my soapbox now, thank you.
Shall I proceed with the roll call? Mr. Supervisor?
I think all of us would agree that we should not be penalized because we keep crime low here, and to base our funding levels on what our crime level is, I think is not equitable to us.
Shall I proceed with the roll call,
Please.
Mr. Supervisor? Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. 7-0. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And about National Night Out, the community was awesome, and the support that they showed yesterday. And that's what community and National Night Out is for, is building that trust with your law enforcement officials, public safety officials, or the fire department. But it's really what went on behind the scenes, which, all of the township was responsible for. Saw a lot of the board members, Parks and Rec, DPW, our fire department, the police department, and just an awesome show out. So we couldn't do it without everybody in the community. And one last thing, the police department did lose tug of war, the battle of the badges. So I am going to relinquish the trophy to Chief Jensen here today.
However, Chief, I noticed, was there more firefighters on their end of the
There
rope?
must have been. So we'll have to review the video.
Because
So,
it looked like there might have been more.
but awesome job to Chief Jen and his crew. They won a fair fight, I guess.
Okay.
So, but I'm really relinquishing that trophy today. The Battle of the Badges. We'll coming back to get it next year.
Well, it was a great community event, and I think it's kind of like a large community picnic almost.
Yeah.
Clerk Robertson.
No, I have nothing. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
I
Hugo?
just wanted to say, I feel like each year there are more and more members of the community who come out.
Definitely.
And even from other communities.
Yeah.
It's a really nice event, so you guys did a great job.
Well, yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I
I would agree. I haven't.
the hot dogs went much quicker this year, so I know that, and all of the snacks. So, yeah, fabulous event. So thanks, you guys, firefighters, police department, DPW, everybody who had a part in organizing that, Parks and Rec. With that, moving on to item C, the board will consider a motion to approve the gift and donation acceptance policy and the donation program as presented. Mr. Kimmer.
I've got this one. Good evening. The item before you tonight. Recently, we've had a few inquiries of people that would like to purchase memorial or commemorative benches or trees in the parks. And going through our records, I kind of discovered we didn't really have a policy in place or a donation program to really specify what that entails. This policy and program in front of you tonight, it wouldn't just be for parks. This would be basically a township-wide donation program. The gist of it is any tree that they would like to donate or purchase, we would replace it for up to the first 3 years if the tree died. For a bench, we're looking at 15 years that this cost would cover maintenance for that. I also want to point out the green bench that you see in your packet there, the one for the pathways. That is the style of bench that we are currently utilizing and have had installed for the Dort Highway Extension and the Cook Embry Trail. I think we'd like to have a consistent image across the township for any benches that are sponsored along the trails. Primarily, we'd probably look at putting those benches within the park. I don't know if we'd have enough area within the easements of the existing pathways, but we could also offer that program as well. Really, any donation that is above 10,000 or more would kind of follow similar to our purchasing policy, where that would require a board approval. Anything $10,000 or less, we could do internally through the township superintendent.
If a motion's in order, I'll make that motion, Mr. Supervisor.
I'd just a little bit of discussion first.
Is there some identification or a plaque or something that goes
Yes,
along with that?
correct. Yep,
donation?
that's included with that price. So for the trees, we would do like a 5x8 bronze plaque, I think is what we identified in there for an inscription on it. The inscription would have to be relatively short, in memory of or commemorating this or that. For the benches, we do have 2 existing benches out at Creasy Bicentennial Park near the South Pavilion that have the engraving in the bench itself. So that's probably the style we'd look at for the recycled plastic benches.
One of the things too, the county has actually brought a consultant on to look at signage for the pathways, as the Mott Foundation and the county and local municipalities are working to expand greatly the pathway network in Genesee County. They've brought somebody on board to make sure that we kind of have a consistent type of signage and
Yes.
look, so that when you're traveling from Fenton to Grand Blanc eventually on a pathway, or from here to Goodrich, you're going to see kind of a unified appearance. So we'll be working with the county on that, I'm sure, too. Yeah, I think this is a great move. I think eventually, too, even signage that recognize the major sponsors, whether it's foundations or individuals, for any of our pathway or park.
Sure, that's definitely something
So,
we could add on to the.
I'll make a motion that we move forward on this.
Motion by Bennett,
Support.
supported by,
Yancho.
okay, supported by Yancho.
I have a question.
Sure. Mr. White?
This is not me being against this, but how much do these benches cost?
The benches are around, when you get the full engraving with it, they're around $1,800 to $2,000 for the bench. What I did forget to mention, on the benches for the pathways, that would include installing a concrete base as well. So that's why that cost is a little bit higher for the one on the pathways.
And it's for maintaining it over 15 years, like you said.
Shall I proceed with the record roll call?
Please.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho?
Yes.
Trustee Hugo?
Yes.
Trustee White? Yes. Trustee Fike?
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Thank you. Item D, the board will consider a motion to approve the annual census R&I hosting renewal fee for $17,455 and the annual census analytics enhanced hosting renewal fee for $15,660 from Aetna Supply, totaling $33,115, and authorize the township superintendent to execute all related purchase orders. Mr. Boggs?
Morning.
Good evening.
Good morning.
Good evening. Wow.
We're hoping to not be here till morning, but we're not moving real quick, so.
Apologies. Before you tonight is the renewal for meter reading software that pulls in our reads and processes them. We're currently switching over on a meter replacement program, so this should be the last time this is before you. So after this, we would not be renewing the software.
Meter replacement going well?
It is. I'm happy to say when I wrote this, it says 83% completed. I had progress meeting on Monday, and we're about 87% completed.
Wow.
So we, hopefully by the end of this year, we should be all wrapped up.
I got notice they're coming, but I got to get an appointment with
You
them.
better sign up and shut you off.
I've got the note sitting in my desk to call them for last week, but I need to get with them. Okay, any questions?
Is the motion in order, Mr. Supervisor?
It is.
I'll make that motion on item 7D,
Support by Mr. Fike.
supported by Fike. Trustee Fike?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho?
Yes.
Trustee Hugo?
Yes.
Trustee White?
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Boggs. Item E, the board will consider a motion to approve a Metro Act permit application from Surf Air Wireless LLC, doing business as Surf Internet. Mr. Limita?
These come to you from time to time, a lot more now than we've ever had in the past. Really is allowing another company to come in and use the right-of-way to install some additional fiber for telecommunications providers. As a township, while we don't own the right-of-way or the roads, because we are the municipality, the local municipality, it still comes before us to make a decision. You get a check for $500 from them, and it comes to us. I review all of the application, including the map where it's going to go. When we get through to the end of all that, it comes before you for approval. If you're going to deny it, you'd have to have a very valid reason to deny it. We have 45 days to act on it from the date of the application. If it's delayed, it's like a $40,000 fine for delaying it. Really, because we do own our own infrastructure for water and sewer, it is important that we have this come before us. And then the permitting agency is always going to be the county, not us. But it allows us to look at it, make sure it's complete. We know where the map is going to be, and then we know if they're going to interfere with any of our own utility infrastructure in the ground. My recommendation is that we approve it and authorize the approval and move it forward.
Any questions, concerns? Ms. Hugo makes the motion, I'll support.
Motion by Hugo, supported by Bennett on item 7E. Trustee White?
Yes.
Trustee Fike?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho?
Yes.
Trustee Hugo?
Yes.
7-0, motion passes.
Items for future agenda. Mr. Limita?
The next item before you is from Comcast, and it is a motion to approve the renewal of the Uniform Video Service Local Franchise Agreement from Comcast. These come before you every 10 years, and they provide video services to Grand Blanc Township in a non-exclusive manner. 2 questions have to be answered to move it forward. The first is the franchise fee up to 5% that you can charge. That does go on your cable bills. If you have a cable provider and you look at your monthly bill, you'll see that franchise fee on there. That money does come to the township. And then you'll see, secondly, is the PEG, and that is the public education channels. We used to use the PEG funds to broadcast on a public education and government channel. But lately, we now live stream our meetings, and we have our own YouTube channel, and they're available here. Much more traffic is utilized on our current methods of operation. So my recommendation is that we forego, and currently we were at 0.19%. That again appears on your local bills for their cable providers, and it just says the PEG fee, and it's a 0.019%. I would recommend that we do not collect a PEG fee. We collect the franchise fee at 5% and authorize us to execute this and move it forward so that Comcast can move forward with the new 10-year term for providing video services to your Grand Blanc Township residents.
Mr. Fike?
What is that? What would that mean for a Comcast bill?
Like, how much does it cost?
I mean, is anybody going to save any money because of that?
Yeah, they're going to save that, 0.19% on their cable bill. And again, we're collecting the funds to be used for broadcasting the government channel and to provide programming. But we don't really need to do it anymore. I mean, we can go back to doing it, but my recommendation is that's not where people are going to find us. They're either going to the live stream, they're going to our website, or they're going to our YouTube channel.
So they'll save 0.19%.
Where you're saving somebody some money.
Better than going the other direction. Hugo?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Motion on
Support by Mr. White.
Motion
We
by
have-
Hugo,
Yep.
supported by White.
Hold on just a minute. So we have with us Ms. Jada Weatherspoon, too, from Comcast. We appreciate you sitting patiently through all of our board meeting. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Weatherspoon? No, but we appreciate you being here and to answer any questions that we might have had.
We meet every 2 weeks, Jada, if you,
Looking. Well, she traveled to the area, so she's, we appreciate that, Jada. Okay, sure, go ahead.
I know I met most of you, but thank you, board, for taking this up. Obviously, from Comcast, like Supervisor Bennett said, but my name is Jada Weatherspoon. I'm the manager for government relations for Comcast, and so I cover the region here. And appreciate you all taking it up. Superintendent Limita pretty much laid it out properly, so I don't think I need to add much more. So please let me know, though, if you all have my card. I have, any constituent matters that come before you that you need to escalate. Do not call the customer service line. Just call me directly, okay? And so appreciate the time, and thank you so much for taking this up and passing it.
Okay, thank you very much, Jada. Okay, good.
Shall I proceed with the roll call?
Please.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
7-0. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, future agenda items now, the, Mr. Limita.
so a couple things that probably we need to discuss, and I think probably the key is, hallelujah, we know what the Parks and Recreation millage is. And I think that's very important because we need to start, we've kind of been in a holding pattern, not knowing. Our millage expired last year. We're not sure how to move forward. We're not sure if we should be planning projects. We're not sure if we should go after any grants because we wouldn't have had the matching funds for it. So we do need to ramp that up relatively quick. I'd like to dedicate that at a future meeting and probably really focus on maybe, we don't have to come up with the entire, like what's the next 10-year spending plan for capital needs for Parks and Recreation, but those of a more immediate nature, like what board priorities would you like to see at the park? You saw a very valuable presentation by Mr. Kimmer a couple of different times. We talked about the millage, the things that could happen. But I think there's some key things for those who use the park out there. One is the irrigation of those soccer fields, lacrosse fields, because we definitely need to invest some funds in there. That other multi-purpose field we had, you recall Matt sharing with us that at the time they built it, they took a lot of bad material and put it under there. We're not utilizing that field this year because we were concerned that some rebar and concrete were working their way back up through the field. So you'll see when you're out there that it's overgrown. We need to make a decision on that. So I think there's some big changes we can make at the park. I think we do need to resurface current pathways that are around the park and down Grand Blanc Road as part of our overall offerings for our non-motorized trails. So some key things and where you guys want to go. One point I'd really like to make that I think we should talk about is, do you want to just do them slowly per year like we have been doing for the last 10 years, or do we want to jumpstart something by maybe considering a bond issue and doing some of the major projects and knocking them out in 1 year or 2 years and then moving forward? So knowing that we have revenue coming in to be able to do that is a consideration as well. So I think a good conversation from the board will help us as staff decide the direction you wish us to move forward in when it comes to Parks and Recreation.
I think one of the areas too, Mr. Limita, with regard to future agenda items, I think the Planning Commission is going to be coming before us. I don't know if it's the next meeting or the following meeting, but to talk about a few things they've been doing research on, and they want to present some of their findings to the board. I think data centers is one of the issues they've been researching to have us look at some of their findings on.
That joint meeting has been part of our strategic plan, and we've been trying to, it's hard to get the schedules together.
Right.
But I think we do have that for the next meeting.
Okay, very good. Treasurer Yancho, anything?
No, nothing new.
Clerk Robertson?
As we all know, we concluded the election yesterday. Just a few items. over the last many weeks, in that we've processed better than 9,000. We mailed out 9,000, better than 9,000 absentee ballots. We got at one point yesterday at around 11 o'clock in the morning, we had 63% return on that. I think the percentage went up as the afternoon evening progressed. Don't have the precise figure. We had not 9 but 10 days of early voting that we executed. That went off swimmingly, and all the credit goes to my staff, Lynn Henry, Reagan, Henry, and Michelle, and all of the election workers that helped execute the election, and I'm deeply appreciative for that, and all went well. So there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, elections are not something that you can kind of get.
And they were here till well after midnight, by the way. They were they do work in the wee hours of the morning, it was mentioned.
Elections aren't something you can kind of get right. You've got to be 100% right on it, and so I appreciate the detail that they put into everything. And the early voting, the 9 days of early voting meant that we had the office open on the weekends even. So we appreciate what your staff does for the elections. With that, just a few things that I'd like to mention briefly. We talked about the program that we work jointly with the city of Grand Blanc on with regard to providing EMS, having EMS available here in the township, whereas in the past we had trouble even getting an EMS unit when somebody needed it. Just so that, as an FYI, the stats for July, Patriot answered about 500 calls just for a EMS unit. 255 of them were Tier 1 calls, and 245 were Tier 2 calls. And basically 319 of those calls were where they actually transported individuals. What else can I tell you? 44 of those calls were answered by EMS companies other than Patriot. So the vast majority of them, out of 500, were covered by the EMS units that we're covering. And they're trying to keep 3 units in Grand Blanc City and Township at all times. In the past, some of the response times were over 14 minutes, I believe, going back. The Tier 1 averaged about 8 minutes and 11 seconds. The Tier 2 averaged about 10 minutes and 76 seconds. So, and that's counting that basically police or fire on the scene. They say, hey, we need a rig, and then they, call them. But bottom line is that great response, and it's working out very well for our residents. We talked about our fireworks ordinance at the last meeting. I just wanted to let you know I did receive a few phone calls from residents who said they appreciate us looking at this because they would like to see the ordinance move forward. I didn't receive any calls objecting to that ordinance, but I did receive calls in support of that. The other thing that we had discussed at a previous meeting was with regard to MTERA and the concerns with the trash pickup. We had a very lengthy meeting. I think it was probably a 2-hour plus meeting with some of the leadership here locally with MTERA. I think the meeting, we left it feeling like they heard us and that they were making a number of changes. I won't go through all of the things, but some of the things that they're doing they added about 6 staff to answer phone calls. They are purchasing 5 new trucks. They're doing a whole lot of changes, but those 2 things I think alone are a step in the right direction. But hopefully, bottom line is that the service is improved, and I think we're seeing the volume of calls that we were receiving going down. So that's good. With that, we do have, Mr. Lehman, anything to report on before we go any further?
We have made a offer of employment and has been accepted for the executive assistant's position in the superintendent's office. We're very excited to see her go through this background process. And once that is done, we'll remove that contingency and announce her name and get a date scheduled and look really forward to join our team, I can assure you. And I know Matt seconds that, or maybe trumps me, because that work's going somewhere, and I think a lot of it's been landing on Matt. Also, we made an offer to replace an assessing officer. We had one leave, and we have a new one coming on board, I believe, start date of August 17th. And then finally, if you guys have had the opportunity to look at the two new trails, the Perry Atlas Trail, the Grand Blanc Township portion of that is nearing completion, as well as the Embry Cook connector. And we should really be preparing for the ribbon cutting to let the community know that the trails are open and ready to go. Walk, bike, run on these new trails. Excited to see those, because that, especially Embry Cook, major connector, and then the other one is major connector. You can ride now from our trailhead down by Baldwin Road, and you could ride through those trails and end up in Goodrich. So that's a pretty exciting opportunity.
The pathway on Perry Road is going to be delayed a little bit because the bridge at near Vassar Road actually is under construction. They're building that off-site, but I guess it's quite a job. I haven't been out there to see the bridge that they're working on, but from what I understand, the excavation is pretty extensive. We're waiting for the final word that they're officially open. Checked with Roe today, actually, to find out if we can actually make that announcement. But the county wants to work with us on that grand opening, as well as some others. But I think it's fabulous. I see people using the pathways already, and really exciting to see that kind of use. With that,
Can I say one thing?
go ahead, Ms.
Sorry.
Yes.
I just wanted to publicly thank the fire department that came out to my house this weekend. I got home and my husband said the carbon monoxide detector is going berserk right now. So I called them. They were there they had to come from Baldwin Road, but they were there within 10 minutes, I want to say. Looked around, used their little tool, couldn't find anything. But I know some of the residents are aware of this. The fire department does have a grant, and you should have a smoke alarm or a smoke detector in each of your rooms and a carbon monoxide detector. Is that correct? They do have a grant that they can install those and provide those to residents. So I just wanted to say thanks.
Very good. Also, go ahead, Mr. Yancho.
I just wanted to commend publicly the Grand Blanc Grid, because they were out promoting our parks with signage and information at the Arts Fair this past weekend.
Yes, and they had made up signage and got them out real quick, and I saw those around, so we appreciate their support very much. Also, I've got a note here that we should probably sing happy birthday at the end of the meeting. You know whose birthday it is?
No, haven't the foggiest.
Chief Rennie's is coming up, I understand. They said it's coming up
Saturday.
What is it?
this week or something.
Okay.
So who wanted to start it?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Chief Rennie.
Birthday, Chief. Maybe we should not have sang.
I haven't seen
not
I
gonna
haven't
put our
seen
date
Chief
down.
Rennie turn that color red before.
Just did that on live.
Yeah, right.
Told you I had
With that, we have some information we want to share regarding some union negotiations. Is that correct, Mr. Limita?
Yeah, I'm asking the board to respectfully go into a closed session for the purposes of discussing negotiation of collective bargaining agreements for our AFSCME group.
Okay.
And so the motion that I have, and I'll hand this to you, so don't try and write it down right now.
It's on the
Robinson.
agenda.
If I one that I have
understand it
here.
correctly. Is that correct?
Similar.
Motion.
I move to go into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.2681C for the purpose of strategy and negotiation in connection with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement. Is there support? Support by Ms. Hugo.
Motion by Hugo, supported by Fike. Fike, supported by Fike. Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
7-0. Motion passes. We
will stay right
session at
here.
7:45.
unless Any board members or any public wanted to stick around after, but otherwise we'll meet. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Jada. Appreciate seeing you guys.